Good morning, everyone.
Good morning.
It's 6:30, nice and early. We're here on the lawn of the Oasis Hotel.
Yes, we're just giving ourselves half an hour to wrap up and go and have breakfast with Esme before we head off to Rome.
Yeah, it's basically a wrap-up of the whole Egypt trip.
That's right. And there's a whole heap to unpack. Do it in sort of a reality sandwich, if you will. So we'll start off with something nice and soft. Then we'll talk about something that wasn't so pleasant. Then we'll finish with something nice and soft as well. So we're going to start off with the main reason that you come to Egypt, and that's for all the sites. So what do you think, Ange?
It was amazing. Like, some of them were giant, and some of them were amazingly still intact, and yeah, the quality was pretty good.
Yeah, all of them. All of them, from the temples of Luxor, Aswan, Abu Simbel, the pyramids, the Sphinx, the Cairo Museum, all of it didn't disappoint. It was just absolutely incredible. Yeah, so, and what was made even better was our clever guide, who was Mahmoud Ramadan.
Yeah.
He, for on-the-go tours, he arranged it in a way that we kind of missed all the tour groups, because he kind of did the tours a little bit backwards in each route. So we ended up arriving there with hardly any people. That, and it's also the end of the season as well. So we actually didn't have big crowds at all, did we?
No.
But it kind of led to another problem, and this is the next part. This is the not so nice part of the sandwich, and that was what I'm going to call the hawkers, which are the people trying to sell you things. And because I guess we were the only tourists there at all of the sites, that we were just getting hassled relentlessly, weren't we? And even just stepping out of the hotel and trying to go and get to the bank or go to the mini mart or something like this, every step of the way we were just getting hassled with someone trying to sell you a camel ride, a horse and cart ride, trying to get you to go on a fluka tour, or go to our store and go to this bank, and even worse at the temples, because we didn't really get to do what we wanted to do. We just like to explore.
Yeah, it meant we couldn't explore.
That leads us to the next part, the nice other part of the sandwich. The nice soft good bit is the on-the-go tour do a lot to try and shield you from this sort of stuff. They'll take care of all the tipping money and all this sort of stuff, so you don't have to worry about that part. That when they're around, and as long as you're with the group, you don't get hassled anywhere near as much. And in fact, when we went back to Giza, to the pyramids yesterday by ourselves, we got hassled far worse than what we did when we were with the tour group. So they do a lot to shield you from that, and also get you to where you need to go, the right times and stuff like that.
They guide you a little bit as well about how much you should spend on something. So if we're about to go and do something, and they say there's going to be a taxi ride, or like if you're going to go off on your own, they give you advice on how much that should cost, so you don't want to pay more than this amount. So that's very useful.
And they'll warn you to say, don't take a taxi, take an Uber, because it's just, because there's a price set by Uber and all this sort of stuff. And yeah, Uber was good. What was your favourite site? You can maybe go to 2 sites if you want.
I really liked the Luxor temple. I think because it was just so giant, and it had lots of columns. And
that was the one we saw at sunset leading into night.
Yeah.
For me, it was probably the Valley of the King. And one of the moments I really liked was your mum's reaction to that first tomb we went into. Because we're travelling with Angie's mum, of course, and yeah, she got really overwhelmed by it, didn't she?
Yeah, she got a bit teary. In terms of travel, being on a tour is good, because on the go they picked us up from the airport.
Yeah.
And
that would be so much more of a hassle.
Yeah.
It would be really tricky if you weren't.
Yeah.
If they weren't sorting you out.
But when we weren't travelling with them, they recommended that we use Uber. So yeah, definitely have the Uber app on your phone.
Yep.
I found it very useful. I bought a SIM card through SIM Corner. It was a 15-day SIM for Egypt, and I have definitely used that. I've had enough data to be Facebooking, Instagramming, but also using Uber and Google Maps and things like that. So yeah, that's what I used. But other people have just bought a local SIM when they got here, and have found that quite good as well.
Just expect to drink a lot of water. Just whenever you can get water. It's really dry here. Actually, whenever you can get water at a cheaper price as well. And obviously don't drink their water, or don't eat their vegetables.
That might have been washed in that water.
Because I definitely ate. I relented and had some salad, and the very next morning I I was getting stomach cramps. I won't go into any details, but it will definitely happen. So
I think pretty much everyone on our tour,
got sick.
yeah, had a bit of a stomach problem.
Yeah, so bottled water. About, I think per person on average with food and drinks when we're eating local, it was about 200 Egyptian pounds per person.
Yeah.
Food and drinks, just as a bit of a guide. So just budget for that.
But speaking on the food, we really enjoyed it.
Oh, yeah.
Our
We didn't
on the
mention
go,
that.
the guide took us to. Have we mentioned his name? Ramadan. That was our guide. We really liked him.
Mahmoud Ramadan. Can't praise him enough. It was awesome.
Yeah.
Very clever, very good, very
Yeah.
knowledgeable.
Yeah. He took us to local Egyptian restaurants, so that was really good. Ben is a real fan of tahini now.
Tahini and baba ganoush. We came in thinking this is the thing that we were going
We
to,
weren't going to eat any of the food.
the local food, and I've got to say, it's the thing that I probably enjoyed, other than the sights themselves. It's probably the thing I enjoyed the
Same.
most. It was
Yeah.
really good. The food
Yeah,
was
yeah.
just awesome.
Yep. Kosheri, it's like a rice, pasta, lentil, and onion.
Most importantly, I think was the fried onion.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're going to definitely try and make that at home.
Yeah, that was one of my favourites. And then it had some really good baba ganoush. I like it.
And the fried eggplant. The
Yeah.
fried eggplant was so good.
What about going into the sites with like a camera at the beginning of the tour, give them all of our entrance fees. So then at the sites, the guide goes and pays for the tickets. But what we had to do, because we were very keen on getting photos, is buying an extra photo pass.
Yeah.
So we found on average it was probably about 300 Egyptian pounds
Yeah,
pass.
and kind of what we decided to do early on was, for at least two of them, is we just bought a photo pass for Ange.
Yeah.
And
So it's my responsibility to get the photos.
but if there's
and
two of
video.
you, then maybe that's worthwhile. Spending £600 instead of 200
Yeah.
or 300.
Yeah.
The other thing I would say is, especially the geezer, they were the worst for like tripods and stuff like that. Anything that looks professional, they'll kind of hassle you about it.
Yeah.
So think strongly about taking in a tripod or
Yeah.
other things. We got our stabilizers and this microphone we're using now confiscated off us. And we got it back at the end. But even coming in yesterday, with the lenses, because I had extra lenses, they were questioning whether we were being professional or something because we had extra lenses. Just to be aware of, the more professional it looks, perhaps they're going to say, oh no, you've got to pay extra or something like that.
Yeah.
And it's just worth mentioning at that point as well, no one is beyond this for asking extra money. Literally everyone will.
Yeah. Sneakily allowing you to take photos, and then you give them a little bit of
They'll go shh shh shh, and they, hold up.
Yeah.
And just be aware that officials, anyone will ask for it. So that's what we need to say about that anyway. Yeah. So we should probably talk about the traffic.
Crazy.
It's just it's actually kind of, it's an experience in itself.
Yeah, but somehow it works. I don't know how there's not more accidents or like people aren't run over, because there's just people walking through traffic that's moving quite.
And trying to sell things to people in cars while they're in
Yeah.
traffic. It's the first time I've been on a tour.
Yeah, I would definitely recommend on the go if you're coming
Yep.
to Egypt.
100%.
We weren't sure how we would like it, but we really enjoyed it.
Yeah, and I think you just got to adapt to. For us, as I said, we kind of like to explore and do our own thing. Get for photography and stuff like that. Get our own
Yeah,
angles, and
yeah.
and you've got to adapt. You can't shoot that way. You've just got to be ready to go and just get what you can and do it really quickly and efficiently. Yeah, I enjoyed the tour, and the cool thing is the people we met on the tour were just really good. It's a good tour group.
The other things we had questions about were, like before we came, was how we're going to do our laundry. Really easy at the hotel.
Yeah.
We're at the Oasis Hotel, and,
Yeah,
and they're quite good. So
We can recommend their laundry
Yeah.
service. It was great.
they press my pants. A bag cost us anywhere between 100 to 200 Egyptian pounds.
But we
depending on
had a big bag the last
Yeah.
one. It was a big bag of clothes.
Yeah.
So-
Tipping is kind of expected here.
Yeah, everywhere.
Yeah, I think because the wages are quite low, so they expect just a little bit. I mean, it just has to be like for the toilets,
Yeah.
five Egyptian pounds. Maybe just take some tissues, just so you've got that, just in case there's no toilet paper in those toilets.
Yeah.
We never really found any supermarkets, so if you can, and you see something like if you want to buy a bag of chips or something like that, or water or soft drink or anything like that, just buy it when you see it.
Yeah.
Because we couldn't find anywhere close by to the hotel.
And I think water's kind of the thing we're almost always running out of.
Yeah.
Water,
and if you
water.
order through room service, then you're having to pay extra for tips.
It's
so-
expensive. Yeah.
Yeah.
If you can find a place that sells a big bottle for like 15 Egyptian pounds,
Yeah.
go for it. Get
Yeah.
a couple.
Yeah.
Just quickly, the ATMs, you can limit for us was 2,000 Egyptian pounds, which is like $200 or a bit less Australian.
Yeah. I couldn't actually get any money out because I have a
Master-
MasterCard.
Visa definitely works.
Yeah.
We've found Visa works in more places than
Yeah.
MasterCard. So,
Yeah.
so
So Ben was paying for this one.
that's all right.
The other thing is US dollars, so that's quite accepted here as well.
If you got US dollars, they're worth a lot. So
Yeah,
yep.
they're better. I think
The
some of
exchange
them-
rate is pretty good.
Yeah. All in all, we had a good trip. What
Yeah.
would you rate it out of 10?
Oh gosh, I don't even know where to start. Look, I mean, there's two parts of it for me. It was definitely a game of two halves, so to speak.
No, you just have to give a number.
Oh come on. Okay, but I have to. I'm gonna say 7. Only because
7? Oh.
look, the sites, all the temples, the pyramids and the Sphinx, all those things were just, they just didn't fail to amaze and inspire all. They were incredible, but that whole what brings the score down was just that constant getting hassled by people trying to sell you things, and it just wore me down.
Well, if you were to ask me what my rating was.
Okay, sorry, let me ask you. And Ange, what's your rating?
Oh, thanks for asking. I'd probably give it an 8.
An 8, okay.
Yeah. I didn't. Yes, at the time the hookahs are bad, but I think when you're thinking about it, they're the things that you speak about and you remember,
It's true.
and they're the ones that you can tell a story about. So,
It's true.
Yeah, it's the whole experience.
If there were no hawkers for me, 100% 10. 10 out of 10, no doubt about it. Well, that's it.
So Habibis, it's goodbye from us in Cairo.
Radio.
See ya.
See ya.